Oh, I see it. The red dot is on.
We're live, buddy.
We're live.
Yeah.
Who's kicking us off here?
Huh?
Who's kicking us off? Oh, Luke, are you kicking us off?
I'm not kicking this off. I'm a guest.
Well, maybe the half hour earlier start time is throwing us for a loop.
Yeah, you mean an hour? Or I don't know, is it a half hour?
What time is it over there, Jason?
5:36.
Ouch.
I was up at 4.
Ugh.
I know.
Oh, it's still pretty dark in your house to be up at 4.
Yeah, it's still dark at 5:36 too.
All right, kick us off, Kobler.
Hey, what's up, guys? Super excited this morning. I literally couldn't sleep. We've got the one and only Luke Lane joining us. Luke, welcome, man. How's it going?
Good. Going well. It's been a
Awesome.
while since I've seen you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Probably someone's wedding at some point, maybe. I
Yeah,
don't
whose
even-
wedding did we drive out to Western Wisconsin for? What were we doing with that?
Was it Benji's?
No. I don't remember, but I remember we rode together. And that was
Yeah.
like the last time we spent any time together, I guess you could say.
I think that was Benji and Christina's wedding. That's
We got married in Amro and we couldn't find the church, so I don't think it was that one.
anyway. Dude, super excited to see you. When my phone rang yesterday, it was a nice, pleasant surprise to hear you on the other end.
Yeah, I didn't think you had that number saved because you sounded kind of like, who is this?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was like in the middle of something. I was like, wait a second, is this what's going on? But hey, we're happy to have you here. Thanks for joining us, getting up early. And Par, it sounds like we've got a little agenda set for it, all three of us this morning.
Heck yeah, it looks like Luke's been studying.
I have not actually been studying. Kind of more of an off-the-cuff guy, so we're just gonna. I hope you don't mind. This could probably get off track real easy. So, if you need to corral me a little bit, I'm open to that.
Oh.
Like herding cats.
A franchisee that I used to work with in Indianapolis always said that. He's like, I've never seen anything like this. It's like herding cats.
It all comes from that Super Bowl commercial. So look it up if you haven't seen it. It'd be worth 3 minutes of your time.
What commercial?
It's a Super Bowl commercial from probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
They're herding cats.
Maybe that's where he got it from.
Has to be.
Yeah, this was 2000. Yeah, it would have been like right after the Super Bowl in 2013, 14, something like that.
There we go. Any other world problems we got to solve or mysteries out there?
I feel like I was the one that was worried about getting off track.
Well, you're our second guest here. We had Jason Hayes a couple weeks ago, and that was a lot of fun. And this is something that we're gonna try and do. Bring people in that have been a part of our lives. And you were a very, just awesome friend in college, and you and I have stayed in touch. We saw each other this weekend.
Right.
It was it hasn't been years for us, Kobler.
Yeah, you guys got the jump start on me.
Yeah, I think we had some proximity issues there, Kobler.
Yeah, that's okay. Can't win them all.
Right.
But one of the reasons we wanted to have you on is you're a small business owner. And as we get into it here, you can kind of tell everybody what you do. Okay, Elroy needs to go outside, so I'm gonna let him out. But
Yeah, Luke, tell us about what's
um,
going on with you. What bring us up to speed.
Yeah, so I'm sure you two probably know, but in college I graduated with a kinesiology degree and adaptive minor, coaching athletics. Uh, Actually, when I started college, I was a business degree, but it was so boring. You beat your head against a desk, and you couldn't tolerate it. So went to something I enjoyed a little more, and came out of there with that degree, and went to Kansas City for a few years and taught down there, and moved back to Wisconsin. There was no jobs available is when there was some budget issues, and it was the wrong time of year. We came back in like late August, and school starts in September. So started selling ads with another company, for marketing and advertising, and it's pretty amazing how much more money you can make doing something other than teaching. So, people complain about the education system. Well, you get who you pay. So anyways, got out of that pretty quick, worked with another company, and the problem with that company was that it just was a lot of hours, and wrong hours, and it was impacting daily life with a family, well, with wife at the time, no kids, and then started up my own company with a partner, and eventually sold out to him, and started my own in a separate market. So it's a direct mail publication. It's pretty the dinosaur, but it's still alive. So that's what I do. I sell print advertising, some digital marketing, and work with a lot of small business owners. So that's the rundown on it.
Nice. That's awesome.
yeah, I mean, for us, for pizza, we still use a lot of direct mail, and it seems to have just great response when we send out. Call it it's like Velasas mail that you do, right?
Similar, very similar. Yeah, Velasas is more of a company that combines. Yeah, but yes, it's a direct mail. We do a lot of with our ads. It's a lot of discounts, so coupon publications and things like that. So some
Yeah.
social media, some digital stuff. But that's the nuts and bolts of it.
Yeah, we always it's interesting that you say it's a dinosaur because we always seem to like try to go away from it, but it works. So we always go back. If you lay this year on top of last year where we did direct mail and we're not doing it this year, you see it, you're down. So it's all about that impression, I guess. It's important to people.
Yeah, I think the same goes for real estate, to be honest with you. I certainly have pushed a little more focus towards the digital side, but there's always that little void to be filled, and I think there's the direct mail marketing. I don't know if it'll ever go away.
Right. Well, they're both really good. I mean, you shouldn't have in your portfolio just one or the other.
Oh yeah, exactly.
There's absolutely a place for digital marketing. We do digital marketing for our own. Like, I advertise my company digitally. Try and gain more advertisers. It's not that digital marketing's bad. It's newer, and they're growing very, very quickly, and adjusting and shifting, and can be more targeted, and there's a lot of benefits to digital, of course, but where the rubber meets the road, print really does work well, and not for every company, but for most companies. For business to consumer, it works very well. So
business to consumer.
Yeah. B2C.
B2C.
What?
Not B2B.
Luke, what was the biggest challenge you had when you went on your own, when you actually started your current company?
Well, convincing the wife. But no, I mean, so when you work for a company, it's a lot different than when you work for yourself. So they do a lot of the back end stuff as far as invoicing and just they have the structure there. They have the whole foundation all set up. And when you start on your own, uh, you kind of have to develop that. So it was, funding it, with print, you have a lot of overhead up front, and to try and convince people to give you money for something they've never seen. That was tough. So that, but once it got rolling a little bit, you kind of work some of those out real fast, trial and error. You find out what works and what doesn't work as far as your systems, and you go with it. So it was very tough to try, and spent a lot of time. I complained about that first job where I said, it's just the hours didn't work. Well, I spent just as much time or more, I'm sure, when I started my own stuff up. So it required a lot of effort up front. And now I would say I started this in 2016, so I'm coming up on 4 years of doing this, and it's definitely planed out a little bit. You know what I mean? As far as we're up on plane. If you're a boat, you're cruising along. It's a lot easier to pull people. We're not pushing water, I guess you could say. We're actually up to speed a little bit. So a lot more renewals, a lot more of that type of stuff. But just gaining that momentum, that was I'm sure you felt that, Jason, in the real estate.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to ask you, when do you think you kind of got up on that plane? Coming up on 4 years, was it year 2.5? Kind of this last third year. So what would you say there?
I would say that. So I started my first market in 16, and then I added a second market in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
They're neighboring communities or neighboring cities, I guess. The first market I started, I would say probably once we started getting 2 years into it, it was really going a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
I had just found a lot of customers that were a lot more comfortable, and people were signing up for longer time periods and more issues. And it just was more routine. The second market I started in 2017, I would say that one is still pushing water a little bit. It's just hasn't really taken root. That's been a bit of a struggle. So, it's
hearing you say that, it makes a lot of sense, and it's almost comforting a little bit, because there's that 2-year mark. There's that 2-year mark, and I don't know what any of the stats for direct mail or an advertising company, but in the real estate space, they say 85% of people fail in that first 2 years.
Yeah,
it really takes that first couple of years, plus or minus a little bit, to get the train to leave the station.
And Luke, I thought you said something interesting there that has to do with this. You said you found a lot of customers that were more comfortable. Were those new customers or existing customers?
Yes. I mean, and I say it like that because, so when you have somebody that's advertised with you from the beginning, they took the risk with you, and they have seen the results, and they're very comfortable. They know that they have an expectation when they sign up. If they're going to spend $5,000 with you, they know what to expect out of that. They're comfortable. They have an idea. And then you get the other group of people who, they are not the tip of the spear. They're the followers. You know what I mean? They're not cutting edge. So when they see, oh, Jimmy's been in this for 2 years. I trust Jimmy, so I'm going to try it with mine. They're not the ones to take that initial step and go into, out into the unknown. For them, there's some comfortability when they start seeing it there for a longer time and seeing people that they recognize. So, it's been twofold that way. Nice.
But what was the biggest thing that you learned in the first 2 years? Just how to grow your relationship and keep your customers happy. I mean, was there any? You're such a you are. I want to hang on a sec. You're just hilarious person. Your off the cuff one-liners are just incredible, and
now you're putting pressure on me. I feel like you have to say something funny.
And I've always thought,
a great spot.
I don't go.
Looks like it, Mike.
into the situations like you do very often, and try to sell a product. Sometimes I'll walk into a business and let them know what we have for pizza and try and get them to buy some pizza, which I think that's probably pretty easy because who doesn't like pizza? But
Right.
you know, is there anything that how have you grown in that area? Just
Um,
making the people comfortable.
well, people can smell BS a mile away. I mean, if you go in there and all you're trying to do is sell them something, you might as well just stay in the car and listen to your favorite song on the radio. It doesn't get you anywhere. You got to go in there trying to help people. I mean, you said yourself, it took you can see in your numbers that when you are in or out of print that you can tell the years that you've focused on it or not focused on it. So when you go in there, I mean, I target the companies that I know will do well. Okay. So when I'm in there, I'm confident. I'm telling them I have stories. I have, references in that same line where I can tell them and talk to them. If I go in there, and I don't try to sell them necessarily the largest ad just so I can squeeze the most money out of them. I try to get them in what is right for them. And I think that makes a big difference in the right timing, right ad size. I work with them on budget, on payments. So when you can be a little bit more accommodating and when you can not just be in there to pat your own back and pad your own pockets, to actually help them and help them do well, I think that goes a lot further than about anything. And once you get them to try you, then if assuming that the product is working and the marketing in my case is working, it takes over and they know it's working, they know what's going on, and they're comfortable again. So does that make sense?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Yeah. Oh, I guess we're done. Thanks, Luke.
Well, it's been fun, guys. Hey, Kobler, quick question for you. You had said that 85% of real estate people fail in the first couple of years. Do you think that's more to do with it being solely commission-based and then just developing their base? Or where do you think?
Yeah.
My experience, what I've heard is real estate's a lot of referral. So, hey, I just sold Charlie a house, and Charlie, his friend is going to sell their house. And they say, who'd you go with, Charlie? And they say, oh, I went with Jason Kobler.
Yeah.
So why don't you call Jason Culver? He did a great job. So now you're getting that referral. Is that why it takes so long to launch?
Yeah, I think I think that's certainly part of it. And then you have that hockey stick effect where you kind of go slowly, gradually, and then you pop and you start to go up in terms of your referrals or just overall business. I think that being 100% commission is not something that everyone's cut out for.
Well, you run supplemental. I mean, you drive.
Yeah. So I've got that. I don't know a lot of people that would be willing or are willing to do whatever it takes, though, right? Whether it's driving, walking dogs, whatever it is. And you're right that referral base. There's a stat that I did not verify, but someone told me that the
hashtag this one, folks.
Yeah, hashtag the overall business of someone that's a referral based agent versus someone that goes out and continually just tries to go with cold business or even lukewarm business is exponential. That referral based business. And I'm just the type of person that exactly everything that you just said, Luke, I loved hearing, and I would say the same. I'm not trying to put someone in a house or sell someone's house just to do it. I want to find out what their motivations are and what I can do to help them, right? Whether it's, hey, maybe renting your house is the best option for you right now. Or maybe, you have an offer from an investor to buy your house and I couldn't get you that much money. If we were to go to the open market, take the money from the investor. I want to find a way that I can help you and,
I think that's why you're successful with it.
Yeah. And hearing you say all those things from a print advertising perspective, almost it made some things click for me. And I'm coming up on 2 years. In about 2 weeks will be my 2-year mark.
Hey,
Yay!
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And you know, it was probably 9 or so months ago, maybe a little more, where those referrals, you know, did start happening. And it's you get that first one, and it's like, okay, and then the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one.
They're trickling in, huh?
Yeah, and honestly, when I get a referral, whether I know that person or not, they're automatically family.
Well,
And
I think one challenge for you, I would assume, I mean, you didn't grow up out in Denver. You know, you don't have that 25, 30 year base of knowing the community and the people. So when you moved out there, you're already working from behind the eight ball and trying to establish a network of people that you know.
yeah, you're
Around
absolutely
here,
right.
I know people around here that start up, you know, in the real estate industry, and their first year, you know, they're generating 6 figures in profit. You know, they're making that because they just called on all their friends and family from the local area and said, hey,
Yep.
you know, and they pounded that resource and said, hey, I need referrals, and it got them through, and it got them rolling.
Yeah.
You're out there, you're trying to meet people, and you're trying to convince them to trust you with one of their biggest life decisions, you know, on where
Absolutely.
they're going to live.
Absolutely.
That's tough.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of my business to start with was open houses. You know, people just walking in the door, and you know, me seeing what I could do to help them. And they started off as strangers.
Right.
And yeah, you're absolutely right. Even though I was here, you know, 5, 6-ish years before I got started, there's that I don't know what I would call it, that comfortability when you've been in an area your entire life, and you know maybe all the businesses or all the people, all your friends and family and your extended network that are in that community. And you know, some people are able to go into a community and just hit the ground running. Some people, it takes a little time to get the ball rolling. But you know, like I said, coming up on, you know, the 2-year mark, and you know, I'm really starting to gain some momentum and really feel like I'm doing something here.
Well, don't stop that momentum. Keep after it.
Oh yeah,
You're
absolutely.
on
You
the
got to keep that momentum rolling.
Yeah, you're about to get going. So you're like a spring, and you're about ready to.
Ooh, hey, I got 2 hunters with me. What about the draw right there?
Yeah, potential energy right there.
Yeah, you might almost be at the point of just the trigger pull. Let's go
Yeah,
a little faster here.
click.
Yeah. So
Awesome. Well, dude, Luke, so awesome seeing you, man.
yeah,
Haven't chatted with
Jason.
you.
Yep, good to see you, buddy.
Nice to thanks for the update. I'm glad you're doing well. Say hi to Lisa for me, and
I will.
you got Violet and Isaac and Leo.
Yes, I do. So they
Awesome.
actually probably be coming in here in just a minute or two. It's almost 7, and they'll be getting up for school. So if one of them comes and jumps on me, you know, apologize in advance. But thanks for having me on here, guys. You guys, I like your podcast here. It's fun to listen to. I try to listen to it in the vehicle on the ride up to my market areas. So
Nice.
it's a good time.
Keep
Thank you
crushing
for your
it.
support, Luke.
Of course, Damon. Hey, we gotta get that Stanky guy back on here again.
Yeah, well, I think his internet connection has been down the last few weeks.
Yeah, he's in the middle of Kansas somewhere right now. I was all excited yesterday. I said, Craig, if you can join us tomorrow, Luke Lane's going to be there. He said, I'll be in a tree.
I don't blame him. If I could be here right now, I would be too. But,
all right, guys. Have a good one out there.
Hey, kick some butt today, buddy. Good to see you.
Gentlemen.
Amen.
Do the same.
Ouch. All right, I'm going to let you guys stop the red button.
Stop the red button. All right, great to see you, Luke. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.